Taylor likes the 2006 animated movie Flushed Away so much that we're going to give it its own folder. This is wild. Flushed Away is a movie based on a rat named Roddy St. James. And Roddy is actually modeled off of Matty Healy. Matty's mother's godfather worked on the film and needed inspiration for kind of like a pretentious rat and sought that inspiration from Matty Healy. Now, my guess is that Taylor took a liking to this movie because her and Matty had begun talking on MySpace in 2005, and she was well aware that a movie was kind of being made after him in a way. And when it came out, she watched it, liked it, and since then has been symbolically kind of dropping hints of the movie throughout her discography. In this post, I'm just going to focus on the plot, but the plot is huge. The premise of this movie is that this pretentious rat who is a pet and lives a very posh kind of lifestyle named Roddy St. James ends up getting flushed down the toilet and ends up in kind of like a ratropolis. It's like a land of rats, but these rats aren't quite like him. They're like the low-end, dirty dog rats. Roddy's entire goal is just to get back to his apartment, to his posh lifestyle. Enter the redheaded rat girl named Rita. Rita's a captain of a ship and she's just kind of rough around the edges. Rita's main goal is to find a ruby because rubies are unbreakable. And the entire premise is that Rita thinks if she can find this ruby, this unbreakable gem, that it will basically kind of buy her the lifestyle she wants. Roddy and Rita literally interact with one another. Rita thinks she found the ruby, but Roddy tells her, nope, I'm a fancy one, I'm a fancy rat. That ruby's fake. And he lets her know that his goal is to get home, and if she helps him, he has a real ruby at home that he will give to her. Everybody wins, win-win situation. So the movie is just the adventure of trying to get Roddy back to his home. Their personalities kind of clash. They're very unlike people, the circle and the rectangle, and they just kind of coexist. But of course, along the way, this becomes a love story. There are moments of the movie where it's very evident that Rita and Roddy are falling for one another. And the interesting part about this movie is that for its time back in 2006, this was one of the only what they considered romantic animations where the main characters never kissed. Now, of course, you just think, okay, they fall in love and live happily ever after. But Roddy and his pretentious posh lifestyle gets in the way of that because he gets in his own head and he's not used to depending on others. So, of course, enter the roadblock of Roddy not being able to give himself fully to the girl. But the girl has rubies on the mind. So she's disappointed, but kind of like, I got to get back to my initial plan. I got to get this ruby where it needs to be. So this was the summary. My next post is going to go over the huge musical tie, and then we'll get into the symbols.